Aidan Rogers, Strategic Advisor to HCF Energy and General Energy Consultant.
And tell us a bit about why you are here today at the Sustainable Energy for All Forum.
Well, as one of the players in the domestic renewable energy and sustainable energy space, this conference and my attendance is really symbolic of Barbados' global leadership in terms of sustainable energy development. The Prime Minister this morning in her speech really reflected on the fact that just around 33 years ago at this very location, this conference center was built to host the first global sustainable energy conference. And today, this session over the next 2 days would really be focusing not only on Barbados' own developments, but how Barbados' leadership as it relates to climate finance and making it more accessible to developing countries across the world is significant to us really combating the scourge of climate change. What it demonstrates is that you are never too small or insignificant to make a contribution. And Barbados right now is at the vanguard in making a significant contribution, not just in terms of our decarbonization efforts here physically, but in terms of global leadership and advocacy around sustainable developments and the effects of climate change.
So you mentioned that, yes, Barbados has seen development in this area, but what are specific areas that you believe still might need to be addressed, and how can we tackle those areas?
So really one of the big challenges that we have in this sustainable energy challenges, being a leader as a small island state, we have very little opportunities to pursue necessary innovations that we see. We're still largely nations in the developing world that rely on the developments that take place at the global level with respect to the more developed countries. However, what we're really seeing now through the hosting of events like this is our ability to attract several key components. Financing is a key component. Interest rates in the developed world are a lot cheaper and lower than we can attract them here in the developing nations. This is one of the things that we're advocating against. The ability for us to access the technical capacity so that we can pursue innovations. Barbados represents one of the leading countries where our grid is being decarbonized. The issues in terms of storage and how you can integrate more renewables. On the technical level, these are cutting-edge issues that are at the forefront in global decarbonization developments. So as a small island state, limited access to low finance, limited regulatory technical capacity, there are challenges that we need to overcome. And what hosting these events do is really allow us the opportunity to say, look, we are ready to run with the big guys. We recognize the challenges that we have, they're not insurmountable. These are the specific key components that we need to allow us to not only lead, but lead along with you from the developing countries.
And how do you think that international and regional cooperation, what part do you see that playing in this fight as we try to thrive to be sustainable?
Well, basically what we can see, the hosting of such events such as this is really symbolic of the gradual success that we're seeing, because no longer are our needs being ignored. We're bringing the world on our stage where they can have insight into the needs we have. And at the regional and the domestic level, what we're seeing is that there's greater collaboration and cooperation. 3 weeks ago, we would have had the EU president here in Barbados, and we would have seen the initiatives that the EU would have been supporting through their Global Gateway initiative, where even with the recent Debt for Nature swap, we would have seen the European Investment Bank, backed by the EU Commission, really looking to de-risk that investment venture where we can get our South Coast developed in terms of the water treatment facility. So we're really seeing the partnership bearing fruit, and what these events would serve to do is to really strengthen and accelerate that movement towards that greater global collaboration between the developed and the developing.
Thank you so much for your time.
Sure.